Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really jumping into how you can elevate your communication.
Yeah, think of it like mastering elite communication isn't just one thing. It's more of a layered process.
Exactly, a journey maybe, through three key landscapes. First, we'll look at your delivery, how you command attention, even before you say anything.
Right, that presence.
Then we'll get into the craft of the message itself, making sure every word hits the mark with precision.
Getting rid of the fluff.
Totally. And finally, we'll dive into how you can connect with your audience, like on a deeper, more impactful level.
Making it stick.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive, we're pulling key strategies, actionable insights from this guide, mastering elite communication, speak like the top 1%.
It's a great resource.
We want to give you a shortcut, basically, to sounding confident, clear, impactful, without drowning in info. Okay, let's unpack this.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is how these small tweaks, they seem simple, right?
Yeah.
But they're not just about sounding polished.
No. What else?
They actually change how people see you, how your message lands, even how you think. It's all about being intentional, every step.
Absolutely. Intentionality.
Yeah.
And the first building block, the guide really stresses this, is think before you speak.
Crucial.
Elite speakers, they value clarity way more than speed. And silence, that's not confusion. It shows confidence.
Right. Rushing just makes you sound nervous.
Mm-mm.
But those pauses, they show you're actually thinking. Deliberately.
Yeah, the guide has this great practice idea. Take a deep question like, oh, what makes a good life? Wait 3 full seconds before answering.
Just pause.
Yeah, record yourself doing it. See how it feels, how it sounds, composed, not rushed.
And that pause, it does more than just make you sound poised.
Yeah.
It's got this subtle psychological thing going on.
Oh, like what?
It pulls the listener in, makes them wait, anticipate what you're going to say next. You're sort of controlling the rhythm, guiding their thoughts, not just dumping info.
Guiding thoughts. I like that.
Which is exactly why getting rid of filler words is so important. It builds on that control.
The classic, we all do it sometimes, right?
We do. But the guide points out, elite speakers, they sound decisive, clean, because they cut those fillers out.
Fillers just make you sound unsure. Okay, but doesn't that risk sounding, robotic if you're too focused on cutting every single
That's a really good question. It's nuanced. It's not about being some kind of perfect machine.
Okay.
It's about conscious awareness. Cutting down the unconscious habits, not killing your natural way of talking. It gives you space to think, choose better words.
Right, building awareness.
Which is why that practice works. Record yourself talking about your day for a minute, count the fillers, do it again until you're under 3. It builds the awareness without making you overthink it live.
Okay, that makes sense. Self-awareness, not robotic precision.
And speaking of decisiveness, how do you project that without, seeming aggressive?
Yeah, good point. The source talks about projecting your voice with confidence, owning the space. Strong voice equals authority. Quiet voice, uncertainty.
So just talk louder. Not quite. It's less about sheer volume, more about resonance, intentionality.
Yeah.
Like the guide suggests, stand tall, breathe deep.
Okay.
And practice saying something powerful, clearly, across a room. Like that quote, I am not afraid, I was born to do this. You're not just making noise then.
Right.
You're physically embodying that conviction. It gives your voice natural authority, filling the space with presence, not just sound.
That's a powerful image, embodying conviction. And then there's this other piece, kind of surprising, being comfortable with silence.
Yes. It's not just pausing before you speak. It's using silence like a tool within your speech.
If so.
Silence pulls people in, creates tension, maybe a little drama, makes them lean forward. Imagine saying something big.
Okay.
Like, this isn't just a talk. Pause. 3, 4, 5 seconds. This is a turning point. Feel the difference.
Wow, yeah. Definitely feel that. It signals you're totally in control.
Exactly. You own the moment and the message.
It's amazing how these basic things, thinking first, cutting fillers, voice projection, using silence, how they just immediately change how confident you seem. Your whole presence.
They're the foundation.
So if these delivery basics are so key, how do they prep the listener for the actual content? Can bad delivery sink even a brilliant message?
Oh, absolutely. Think of it like a masterpiece painting. If you hang it in a dark, dingy room, does anyone see its brilliance?
No, of course not.
These delivery elements, they're the clean, well-lit gallery. They get the listener ready, open-minded, receptive. So your words land harder with less effort on their part. It's respect, really, for them and for your message.
That's a pretty transition. So you've got the delivery down. The next layer is precision and punch.
Yeah.
Crafting the message itself. First up, fewer, stronger words.
Cut the fluff.
Yeah.
Elite speakers make every word count. Direct. Powerful.
Okay, but I've seen people try this and they just sound blunt or cold even. Is there a danger of overdoing the simplification?
There can be, sure. It's a balance. It's not about stripping out all personality or warmth. It's about cutting redundancy.
Ah, redundancy.
The goal is clarity and impact.
Yeah.
The guide has a good example. Turning, I'm just kind of really excited about this new opportunity that I've been given.
It sounds a bit weak.
Right. Into simply, I'm thrilled about this opportunity, see? Still enthusiastic, but now it has weight. Gravitas. Shows respect for the listener's time.
Thrilled. Much better. It's efficient but still warm. And that connects to upgrading vocabulary, right?
Exactly. But again, it's not about dropping $5 words just to sound smart.
Right. Not complicated for complicated's sake.
It's about using precise, powerful words. Ones that really capture the nuance. The source calls them better words.
Like the example, mitigate instead of just reduce.
Precisely. Learning maybe 5 new targeted words a week, using them in sentences aloud daily. It expands your toolkit.
It shows you've thought more deeply about what you're trying to say.
Exactly. And that precision in words naturally leads to thinking about sentence structure. Elite speech, the guide says, has rhythm, clarity, pauses, like music.
Ah, musicality. I like that. Long, rambling sentences lose people.
Totally. While short, sharp sentences, they build tension, keep interest.
Like the practice. Take a long answer, break it into 3 punchy lines. I didn't give up. I adjusted. I grew. Boom. Much more impact.
So much more.
And speaking of threes, the famous rule of 3, why is that so effective? It feels like more than just a catchy trick.
Oh, it is. It taps into how our brains work.
Yeah?
We like patterns. 3 feels complete.
A beginning, middle, end kind of thing?
Exactly. Satisfying, memorable, but not overwhelming. So the guide suggests next time you explain something, use 3 points. Like, it's fast, affordable, and effective. It just lands better.
It really does stick in your head. And to make ideas even clearer, the guide talks about analogies and metaphors.
Yes, explaining big, abstract ideas with simple, concrete images makes things way easier to grasp and remember.
The practice is to create 1 a week. Like, learning English is like building a house. Grammar is your foundation. That's pretty clear. Can you think of another quick one?
Sure. Maybe you're explaining a complex project at work. You could say, this project is like climbing a mountain. We need the right gear, a clear path, and we need to pace ourselves.
Okay, yeah. That makes it instantly understandable, not just abstract goals.
Right. And what's really compelling about all these techniques, word choice, sentence structure, analogies, is they don't just get the info across better.
What else do they do?
They show depth of thought. And importantly, respect for the listener. You're not making them do all the hard work to understand you. You're making it easy, which makes you more persuasive, more memorable.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Delivery, check. Message crafting, check. But how do we go from just being technically good to being, well, captivating?
Ah, the connection piece. This is huge.
Right. And first up is mastering intonation and emphasis. Elite speakers sound expressive, passionate, right? Because tone carries, what, like 90% of the meaning?
Yeah. Massive. It's the difference between just saying words and actually communicating them, making them mean something.
So how do you practice that?
The guide suggests picking a TED Talk. Listen closely. Imitate the speaker's tone. Notice where their voice goes up, where it goes down.
Like mapping the melody of their speech.
Exactly. Understanding the emotional shape they give the words. That's how you make your words come alive.
It's almost like acting, but authentic acting.
Kind of. And speaking of bringing words to life, nothing does that better than telling impactful stories.
Yes. The guide says elite speakers wrap truth in stories because our brains are wired for narrative, not just dry facts.
Totally. The practice idea is great. Prep 3 stories from your own life. Use that simple formula: problem, struggle, breakthrough.
And keep them concise, like 60, 90 seconds.
Yeah. Practice telling them. Have you ever told a story that just fell flat? What do you think makes the difference?
Oh, for sure. Usually it's because I didn't have a clear point, maybe. Or maybe it wasn't really relevant to the other person.
Exactly. Lack of a clear arc or no real emotional core. Vulnerability helps. Relevance is key. It has to feel real, connect somehow to the listener.
And that connection also comes from listening, right? The guide mentions asking smart, open-ended questions.
Yes. Leading with curiosity. Asking questions that make people think, not just give a yes-no answer. It can actually make you seem smarter than just giving long answers yourself.
I love that, like turning "did you like it" into "what did you find most surprising about it?" Much better.
Definitely. The tip is to prep maybe 5 elite questions before your next important conversation.
It seems simple, but why does asking questions make you look smarter?
Because it shows you value their input, that you're thinking critically, not just waiting to talk, that you see complexity. It signals humility and strategic thinking at the same time.
Okay, I'm sold on asking better questions. What else? Slowing down when you make a point.
This one feels counterintuitive sometimes, doesn't it, in our rush world?
Yeah, deliberately slowing down.
But it works. The top speakers do it to emphasize key messages. That slower pace signals importance, makes people lean in, creates focus.
How do you practice that without sounding weird?
Try saying a key sentence slowly, 3 times,
Yeah.
maybe with slightly different feelings each time. Like this changes everything. You feel the weight shift, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And all this starts right from the beginning with powerful openings.
Crucial. Hook them fast. People decide in the first, 10 seconds if they're really going to listen.
So rewrite your standard intro. Start bold. A surprising statement, a mini story, like the example. I failed twice before I became fluent, and it was the best thing that ever happened.
Grabs you immediately, doesn't it?
It does, and just as vital as the ending, finish with impact.
Yep. Clarity, strength may be a call to action. The end is what sticks most. So prepare those closing lines. Summarize your core message in 1 or 2 strong sentences.
Like, that's why confidence isn't a gift, it's a decision. Pow. Leaves an impression.
Definitely a mic drop feel.
And to really hammer things home, elite speakers repeat key phrases.
Repetition equals retention, right?
Right.
Makes your message unforgettable.
The practice is find one key line. Say it maybe 3 times during your talk or point. Like, you're not too late, you're not too old, you're not too far behind.
Powerful.
But is there a risk of sounding, I don't know, preachy or just repetitive?
It's about strategic repetition, not just parroting. Reinforcing the core idea at the right moments.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly different emphasis each time, like a musical theme returning.
Okay, strategic, got it. But beyond all these techniques, there's something deeper, isn't there? Being emotionally present.
Yes. This might be the most important one. Elite speech connects because it feels real, authentic, felt.
Emotion is contagious, the guide says. You can't inspire if you don't feel it yourself.
Exactly.
But how do you tap into that genuine emotion without it feeling forced or like you're, performing?
It starts with choosing messages you genuinely care about, deeply. Then practice saying them, connecting with the real feeling joy, frustration, pride, whatever it is. Don't just act it, feel it.
So authenticity is key.
Authenticity is magnetic. And finally, let's not forget body language. It's huge, like 80% of communication, nonverbal.
Wow, 80%. Elite communicators move with purpose, the guide says. No fidgeting.
Which is tough. I know I sometimes fidget when I'm thinking or nervous.
Me too. It's a hard habit to break.
But you can work on it. Record yourself. See what you do unconsciously. Then practice intentional movements. Open palms, good eye contact, even just powerful stillness, it all signals confidence.
Open palms, eye contact, stillness. Got it.
It's really amazing how all these things, tone, stories, questions, body language, all of it weave together. They take your communication from just okay to truly memorable and persuasive. It's the whole package.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of really insightful stuff. Delivery, crafting the message, connecting. But how do we actually do this? How do we get from knowing it to living it?
Right. The knowing-doing gap. That's where practice comes in. Consistent practice.
And the source says one key is to mirror great speakers. Study the best, right? Like Obama, Oprah, Brené Brown.
Exactly. Watch them. Listen. Imitate their rhythm, their pauses, their emotional tone, how they structure things.
How does imitating help? You don't want to just be a copycat.
No, it's not about becoming a clone. It's about absorbing the mechanics, understanding why they're effective. What are they doing with their voice? Where do they pause for impact? How do they build that connection? You internalize those patterns.
So like 10 minutes a day, just mimicking their flow.
Yeah, it can really accelerate your own learning curve. You start to feel it in your own voice, your own delivery.
And that leads to the idea of power speaking daily. This isn't just natural talent, it's a skill you build.
Absolutely. Like training a muscle. If you just talk without thinking, you reinforce weak habits. But intentional practice, that gets results.
The routine sounds simple enough. Pick a topic, speak for a minute, no fillers, clear tone, record, review, repeat.
Simple but effective. just 5-7 minutes a day.
What's the biggest hurdle people face with something like that? Just sticking with it.
Honestly? Yeah, consistency is the hardest part. It's easy to be enthusiastic for a day or two. Making it a real habit, that takes discipline.
But the payoff is huge, right?
Huge. That consistent, deliberate practice is what closes the gap. It takes these ideas from concepts you know about to skills you actually have. It makes elite communication part of who you are, how you operate. Not just sounding better, but being a more impactful communicator. Everywhere.
It really underscores that this is achievable. It's not magic. It's dedication and practice, a skill you can build. Hashtag tag, 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 outro.
So what does this all mean? What's the takeaway from this deep dive into mastering elite communication?
Well, I think the big thing is that speaking like the top 1%, it's not some secret gift you're born with.
Right. It's cultivated, built
Yeah.
through specific intentional action.
Exactly. From how you deliver your first word, that intentional pause,
To crafting your message with precision, cutting the fluff.
to really connecting with stories, questions, emotion.
And finally, making practice a consistent habit. Every piece matters. And the real value isn't just knowing these tips, right? It's applying them, using them to refine your own authentic voice.
To maximize your impact, your connection, make every conversation count more.
Yeah, not just for others, but for your own confidence too.
So here's something to think about as you go about your day. Consider applying just one or two of these things. Maybe it's pausing before you answer. Maybe it's asking one open-ended question.
Just one small shift.
See how it changes things. Not just how others see you, maybe, but how you feel in those interactions. Could it deepen your understanding, your confidence every time you communicate?